In this video, I'm going to talk just a little bit about the second phase of Alcatraz Island's history, the operation as a federal penitentiary. I'm going to try to keep this video short because I can cover a lot of the details in individual videos. There's a lot of interesting information, but I'm just going to provide a brief overview for this first one. So as a timeline, Alcatraz Island was transferred from the War Department to the U.S. Department of Justice in 1933, and then in 1934, Alcatraz Island opens operations as a United States Penitentiary. I believe it opened in August of that year. Alcatraz Island, a relatively short history compared to most prisons. It is only operational for 29 years. In 1963, on the order of U.S. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, Alcatraz Island is closed, and it actually is closed on March 21st, 1963. Alcatraz is important to criminal justice. It's the first supermax prison. As a generic definition of a supermax prison, what we're looking at is a prison that's designed to hold inmates that other prisons can't hold. Alcatraz has a large history for its notorious inmates, and we're going to talk in videos about characters like Al Capone and Robert Stroud and Machine Gun Kelly. But the reality is that very few of Alcatraz's inmates would have been these notorious criminals. They would have been there. They would have had more there maybe than most prisons. But most of the inmates were just troublemakers that other prisons had trouble either following rules or confining within the institution's enclosure, fences, walls, whatever it may be. A lot of escape risks would have been brought to Alcatraz because Alcatraz was believed to be escape-proof, and we'll talk about more about that later. So as far as the Bureau of Prisons, it's going to create kind of its own reputation. It's going to be relatively secret. It's going to restrict visitors from the island. It's going to get a lot of publicity because of the few inmates who are notorious, and they're going to kind of keep that information close to the vest. So there's going to be a lot of interest in the island. Eventually, Hollywood will create some of that reputation. We're going to talk a little bit about what's true, what's false in that reputation in following videos. For this point, I just want to show you, I think this picture I used in the introductory video, just the penitentiary sign. I show this as a view of the island. This is what most inmates coming on the boat would have seen. Alcatraz Island still uses the same dock as it would have used for inmates arriving on the island. So it's a very short boat ride, 20 minutes at most. So this is the view of the island as inmates would have been brought from the mainland, from the wharf in San Francisco to the island. So in the next few videos, we'll talk more about the design of the prison, the cell block up here at the top, the layout of the island, what all these buildings are.